As many of you know, over the weekend, gun violence swept over Orlando. There were two separate shootings in a very short period of time, less than 24 hours, or around 24 hours apart. One of them resulted in the death of a YouTuber that I followed, and the other was one of the largest, if not the largest, mass shootings on American soil. Since then, I have noticed a great outpouring of hope and prayer and respect from a great many people, especially from the Christian community over the massacre in Orlando. And I would like to celebrate that Christian outpouring with a bit of scripture, if I may. Then spake Jesus to the multitudes and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works. For they say, and they do not. For they bind heavy burdens, and grievous to be borne, and they lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But for all their works they do for men to be seen. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. And they love the uppermost rooms of the feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. And call no man your father upon earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. But he that is the greatest among you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, and ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer, therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you compass sea and land, and make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, Whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. You are fools and blind. For whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever sweareth by the gift that is on it, he is guilty. You are fools and blind. For whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift? Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, sweareth by it and all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple, sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, sweareth by the throne of God, and him that sitteth thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not leave the other undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you make clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanliness. Even so, ye outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and inequality. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Because you build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, If we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves, that you are the children of them that killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, you serpents, you generation of vipers. How can you escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in the synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed on the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel to the blood of the righteous Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. The point I'm trying to make is this. In my so angry I can't even articulate Scripture. What are you doing? You can't push the LGBT community away with one hand and then draw them in with another. You can't hope and pray for them and their souls and then the next Sunday morning at church damn them in hell. You can't excise them from your families and then weep for strangers who share this thing in common with your blood or your friend. What are you doing? What are you doing? Make up your mind. Are you going to hate these people? Or are you going to welcome them in Christ-like love? Are you going to push them away? Or are you going to pray for them when these things happen? Are you going to persecute them at your podiums and your pedestals and your altars? And then try to love them when something horrible happens. You have to make up your mind. It cannot be both. It cannot be both. One or the other. Choose wisely, church. Choose wisely.